Got a quarter here. Heads or tails, guys? Let me know. Heads or tails? Okay. Anyway, hey there guys, what's up? It's Autobot Mike 18 here with another one of my old movie reviews. That is right, guys. If you watched my most recent old movie review for Back to the Future Part 2, which is currently up on my channel, you can check it out if you'd like to. I announced that I'm bringing back my old movie review series. It has been brought back by very popular demand. And because I wanted to bring it back, because I love doing old movie reviews. And to anyone that's new to my channel, brief synopsis of old movie reviews. Basically, I look at a bunch of movies that I haven't seen before. They could have come out in any year. They could have come out in 2012, for that matter. I decide to watch them for the first time, and I do a review on them. And, yeah, I did this last summer. You guys enjoyed it, so I'm bringing it back for this summer. And today, I have a new old movie review for you guys. And the movie I am going to be talking about in this video is No Country for Old Men. That is right, guys. No Country for Old Men, released in 2007, so this movie's like 8 years old. That may surprise some of you. But yeah, 2007, we saw the release of No Country for Old Men from directors Joel and Ethan Coen, otherwise known as the Coen brothers. Everybody knows the Coen brothers and loves the Coen brothers. No Country for Old Men was released to high critical acclaim. A lot of people loved this movie, and it ended up taking home several Oscars, including Best Picture. The Coen brothers also won big that night. They both won, each of them both won Best Director and Best Adapted Screenplay. And one of the lead actors in the film, Javier Bardem, took home Best Supporting Actor. So No Country for Old Men is highly regarded as one of the Coen brothers' best film, if not their best film to date. So going into this movie, I definitely got excited to watch it for sure. Now, getting into the plot behind No Country for Old Men, the film is set in 1980 Texas. It actually took me a while to figure out it was 1980s because there's a scene in the movie where one of the characters is in like a deli sort of like gas station, and I see beef jerky in the background. I'm like, is this modern day? And then in context, they reveal in that same scene that it's 1980s, through dialogue. And I'm like, damn, okay, it's 1980s. Anyway, guys, in 1980s Texas, the story of this film revolves around three men. Now, one of our lead characters, and the character that I think everybody's going to relate to in this film, is played by Josh Brolin. Now, Josh Brolin in this movie plays a Vietnam War veteran who's like an everyday man, has a wife, has a trailer, he snipes deer, or he hunts deer, as we see him early on in the film. And at some point early on in the film, he stumbles across the aftermath of a drug deal gone wrong. There's dead bodies all over the place, there's dead dogs, there's empty trucks, and he finds a briefcase containing $2 million as a result of this, blotched drug deal. And he decides to take the briefcase back home with him, and that sets off a chain reaction of people trying to hunt him down and go after him and find this money, and different paths are now going to collide. Now, the second main male character in this film that I am going to, that is in this film, is very prevalent in this film, is the character of Anton Sugar, played by Javier Bardem. He is an absolute ruthless assassin slash hitman who is hired to retrieve this money from Josh Brolin. So he's got to track it down and find it and get the money back. Okay, and then we have our sheriff of this town in Texas, our third character, or they're all interchangeable kind of. And he is played by, in this film, Tommy Lee Jones. Tommy Lee Jones plays the sheriff. He's middle-aged, and he's contemplating what he should do next in his life at this point as he's trying to track down Anton Sugar, as well as Josh Brolin's character, Llewellyn Moss, because he knows Josh Brolin's character has the money and, wants to protect him, obviously. But Tommy Lee Jones's character is sort of regretful to see the way things have gone on in this, country that they live in. you know, throughout the years, he's seen violence increase, and at this point in his life, he really just doesn't know what next step he should take. And that, my friends, is basically the plot synopsis for No Country for Old Men. Now, that is all I want to divulge about this film. I do not want to say another thing. I do not want to spoil it. As you guys know in my own movie reviews, I very rarely do spoilers, and I'm not going to do spoilers for this film because if you haven't seen this movie, what are you doing? Go watch this movie. Now, I know I personally just watched this movie, and I'm going to let you guys in on a little secret, okay? Shh, don't tell anybody. But I guess once this is in a video, everybody's going to know. So, oh well. But this is the first Coen Brothers movie I ever watched. Shh. No, seriously, guys. I'm not joking you. I have never seen a Coen Brothers film until yesterday. I know. I haven't seen some of their big hits like Fargo and The Big Lebowski. I mean, they're responsible for those movies. They've also done A Serious Man, True Grit, Inside Llewyn Davis most recently. And then right in the middle of all of those films I just mentioned, they had the release of No Country for Old Men in 2007. And this is the film I picked to watch because I won Best Picture. I had it in my Blu-ray collection for about a year now. I bought it last June, and I haven't watched it. I know every day that went on as I was looking at that Blu-ray collection, I said, I gotta watch a Coen Brothers movie. I gotta watch a Coen Brothers movie. My subscribers are gonna kill me. I finally watched a Coen Brothers movie, so you guys can all sleep peacefully after you watch this review. But all that said, all kidding aside, you know, when everybody heard that this film was being released, and they knew that the Coens were directing it, and they've helmed films before this movie, Fargo and The Big Lebowski, as I said, did anyone really think this movie was going to be bad? I don't think so. Guys, I am not kidding you when I am saying No Country for Old Men absolutely blew my mind with multiple things. From the writing, from the directing, from the performances, especially the performance that everybody talks about when they see this movie. I'll get into it very soon. From the violence in the movie, the cinematography, everything nearly worked for this movie. I really loved it. Okay, what can I say? This is by far like a sort of like westernized dramatic thriller. Okay? Emphasis on thriller because this is absolute masterclass suspense, filmmaking, and storytelling at its finest. Looking back at this movie, apart from the third act, which gives us a little bit of room to breathe for our characters, just a little bit, I mean just a hair. Maybe the final scene, you can breathe a little bit for our characters in this movie. But throughout the rest of the movie, no. This movie literally keeps you on edge, keeps you at the edge of your seat. You cannot wait to see what is going to happen next. There are several scenes in hotels that had my mouth hitting the floor, and I was just like, what's going to happen next? Oh no, that person's going to die. No, wait. That's going to happen next. You know, I love when a film can literally compel you and just keep you so engaged as to the point where you're literally guessing out loud, and everybody in my house is starting to wonder what the hell is going on with me. Why am I talking to myself? No, seriously. Guys, I really enjoyed this movie. I've seen reviews of this movie. I don't read whole reviews. Whenever I have to review a film, I never read whole reviews. I didn't do that with this movie, but I've seen like little blurbs of reviews where people have been comparing this movie to something that Hitchcock has done. And you know what? It's up there, okay? This film is just about as suspenseful, maybe possibly a little bit more suspenseful than a film like Rear Window or even a film like Psycho. My opinion, but we're getting to different genres now, sort of. I'm not going to go that far, but I'm just trying to make a point that the suspense in this film and the thrills in this film are utterly genuine, and you actually feel them as you're watching this movie. You feel your pulse just pounding as you can't wait to see certain characters, to see if certain characters are going to make it out of certain situations or not. You even grow to appreciate the main antagonist in the film, and you can't just help but say, I want to see him make it out of this, okay? But anyway, all that said, all that taken into account, I have to talk about the performances in this movie because you just can't not talk about the three main performances of Josh Brolin, Javier Bardem, and Tommy Lee Jones. Let's talk about Javier Bardem in this movie, because of those three performances, one is obviously stands out amongst all of them. What do you guys think it is? I'll give you a second to think about it. Okay, yes, it's Javier Bardem. Javier Bardem's performance in this movie, man oh man, did he not only deserve to win Best Supporting Actor, but had Heath Ledger not won it the previous year when they awarded to him posthumously, this could have possibly been one of the most deserving Best Supporting Actor wins in all of Oscar history. This is up there. Oh, it's up there, all right, guys. I'm not kidding you. This is totally up there. Javier Bardem in this movie absolutely blew me the hell away. Okay? Not only was his performance intriguing and memorable and just had my mouth going like this from the very first scene he's in this movie, where he's in the police station. That's all I'm going to say. That shot, that almost like bird's eye shot of him on the ground with that cop, I'm like, I'm in a treat with this performance. I knew I was in a treat with this performance, and I knew that I was going to walk away from this movie saying Javier Bardem stole the show, and man oh man, did Javier Bardem steal the show. He is ruthless in this movie. He is brutal. He will kill you without even considering it, except for when he is going to give you the option of flipping a coin. I love his methods. I love the fact that he has a passion about what he does. He is so ruthless and so just he will not he just loves doing what he does. Okay, he loves hunting your ass down. Okay, and he will kill you without hesitation unless he gives you the option of flipping a coin. One of the most memorable performances I've seen in a very long time. Javier Bardem absolutely transforms this role, steals the show. Steals the show. Let's talk about Josh Brolin now. Josh Brolin, I don't think the guy gets enough credit. He's a very, very good actor. Josh Brolin in this movie, I think is the character that plays the character we are all going to relate to. He's the absolute definition of the average American man who is fearful almost of their place in life. I'm not saying that that's what he was in this movie, but that is what the average American man is. So when you stumble across an opportunity that gives you $2 million, are you going to walk away from it, or are you going to take that money? I think 90% of us are going to take that money. And that is the greedy thing to do. No, you should not take that money. Morally, it's wrong. Are we going to take that money? Yeah, we're going to take that money, which is why the themes of greed and, consequences are so prevalent in this film. And the theme of the average American, he is the ideal average American man or woman in this film. And that is why I loved his character so much and related to his character so much. He was also very headstrong and intelligent in this movie. He made use of weapons when he didn't actually have weapons, He used objects around him to make certain weapons as he's on the run from the character of Anton Chigurh, played by Javier Bardem. And finally, last but not least, Tommy Lee Jones in this movie. I was never a huge fan of the guy, okay? I mean, he's been great in films like Men in Black, The Fugitive, most recently, Lincoln, he was very good in that. In No Country for Old Men, I think Tommy Lee Jones was perfectly cast because the guy, for the most part, looks like he's very upset about something. Like, he's just got that demeanor, I guess. And I think that's perfectly, that Tommy Lee Jones trait perfectly fits in this movie because his character plays a sheriff who is very disappointed at seeing the way his country has come to, The violence has grown, and he really just doesn't know what way to turn. He's very dissatisfied with the way things have gone on, in comparison with what he's experienced in his past life with his father and his grandfather, who have also been sheriffs. I really felt for his character, and his final scene in the movie is really good. I mean, it's one of those scenes you gotta literally rewatch and interpret the meaning of it and go back and look at it, and I love that about movies. But it's a great scene, and he was great in it. Those three actors are incredible in this movie. All three were probably deserving of a Best Actor or acting nominations, and Javier Bardem ended up taking it. Absolutely well deserved. Wow, he's so good in this movie. Anyway, guys, moving on. I'm going to get into my rating now. I'll get into my pros and cons and everything. I really enjoyed this movie. I do have but one flaw with this film, and that is what is keeping me from saying this is a flawless film and one of my favorites that I've seen in a long time. and I'll get into said flaw, but everything else literally worked for me in this movie, guys. It has a terrific screenplay that actually doesn't heavily rely on dialogue, and that's what I really liked about this movie. It doesn't use dialogue to tell the story. In some scenes, it uses the camera to visually explain to us what is going on in this film, what certain characters are feeling. We don't need dialogue, and I like how the Coens did that. In other scenes, they heavily rely on dialogue to show the status of a character, to show how ruthless a certain character is, especially with the memorable scene in the gas station with Anton Chigurh's character. I love moments like that in the film that heavily rely on dialogue, and I'm fine with said moments. But the screenplay, it's gruesome, it is suspenseful, I just loved it. It works so well, in my opinion. The dialogue that was in the movie worked very well. There's an interesting suspenseful phone call scene. I just loved a lot of that worked with this movie. The themes that are prevalent in this film are so powerful, and you know, there are a lot of symbolic things going on that you really need to sit down and pay attention. Every single scene could tie into another scene later on. You have to really be attentive as you're watching this film. The Coens, man, did an amazing job directing. Every shot is so perfectly framed, and that's going to tie into the cinematography by the director of photography, the master himself, Roger Deakins. As I was watching this movie, I said to myself, who shot this movie? It looks incredible. I see the credits, I see Roger Deakins' name, I'm like, damn it, the guy is good. Roger Deakins is I don't know how he does it. I don't know. He's awesome, though. The cinematography is just gorgeous. The shots are fluid. Any sort of camera movement worked so well for me in this movie. The film editing is incredible. I mean, the Coens know, or whoever edited the film, the Coens didn't edit the film, but they know when to make a certain cut, and, shots work, arrangement of shots work. All that worked so well for this movie. All three performances are incredible. And last but not least, the other thing I really loved about this movie is the fact that it hardly uses a score to further bring out the tension. It just uses a lot of ambient noise and sounds of like the wind blowing or something. That is something I heard a lot as I was watching this movie. And it shows that you also don't need a score to further bring out the tension in a scene. Okay? And that is something I really loved about No Country for Old Men. Its use of sound. Incredible use of sound and ambient noise. Excellent. Don't need score. Now, my one flaw with the film, guys, my one and only flaw I had with this film is right around the third act. Without spoiling anything, and I know a lot of you guys are going to be like, Mike, it's alright, it's just one thing, but in my opinion, it's big. There is a fate of one character that I felt just didn't work for me. And I'm not going to say who it is, but there are two characters in this movie who I feel I enjoyed seeing what happened to them. Their fates, I thought, were excellent, okay? Javier Bardem's last scene in this movie just was so damn satisfying for me. I loved it. There is another character in this film, and I'm not saying it's one of the three leading characters I mentioned. It could be another character. I'm not going to say whose it is, but something happens to said character, and I just felt that we were with this character for so long in the movie, and to have the thing that happened to this character happen without us seeing it, especially, or seeing a build-up to it even, I just felt just didn't work for me. I just felt that we were with this person in the film, and with certain things that unfold, it just upset me slightly. Other than that, everything else worked for me in this film, guys. You could say that the tension dumbed down a little bit within the third act of the film, but there are still like 2 or 3 scenes within the third act that had me just like, what's going to happen next? What's going to happen next? With that said, guys, I love No Country for Old Men. It is an incredible, near flawless film that I highly recommend you check out. I'm going to give it an overall score of a 9.5 out of 10, or a grade of an A. I highly recommend you check it out if you haven't seen it. It is an incredible movie. I haven't seen the other Best Picture nominees 2007, but I'm sure it deserved its award. I still have to watch There Will Be Blood. Anyway, guys, what did you think of No Country for Old Men? Let me know down below in the comments. And real quick, guys, before I end this video, I want to tease a video collab I'm doing with a good friend of mine on YouTube. His name is Chris Day. I'm going to leave a link to his channel down below in the subscription. Chris and I have decided to do a collab video reviewing all of the Mission Impossible movies. That's the first 4 Mission Impossible movies leading up to the release at the end of July of Mission Impossible Rogue Nation. Chris and I are going to be reviewing the first films together, 1 to 4 together, and we're going to be putting them in one video. We're going to be uploading them on both of our channels, so stay tuned for that, guys. That's going to be part of my old movie review series, of course, because they're older movies. So stay tuned for my collaboration with Chris Day on the Mission Impossible reviews of all the films. With that said, stay tuned for that, guys, and thank you for watching as always, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.